Public servants are entrusted not only with the power to govern, but with resources purchased with taxpayer funds, such as motor vehicles and building materials. The Texas Penal Code includes criminal penalties for those public servants who abuse the power and resources entrusted to them. First, the Penal Code states a public servant who, with the intent to obtain a benefit or with intent to harm or defraud, intentionally or knowingly violates a law relating to the public servant's office or employment, commits an A misdemeanor. Next, a public servant who misuses government property, services, personnel, or any other thing of value in their custody also commits abuse of official capacity. For example, a police officer who uses their government-owned vehicle to transport personally owned items beyond what they need for duty across town to their new apartment will more than likely meet the elements of this offense. The Penal Code uses the standard value ladder to determine the penalty level for this offense. Finally, the Penal Code clarifies the offense of abuse of official capacity does not include discounts for travel such as frequent flyer miles, rental cars, and hotels. Public servants are typically held to a higher standard than the rest of society and are expected to refrain from abusing their power. The Texas Penal Code not only includes enhanced penalties for public servants who violate the law, but a specific offense for those who unjustly exceed the scope of their authority. This offense is called official oppression. According to the Penal Code, a public servant under the color of their office or employment, which means in any way or manner that is connected to their position or authority, who intentionally subjects another to mistreatment, arrest or detention, search, seizure, dispossession, assessment or lien known to be unlawful, or denies or impedes another in the exercise or enjoyment of any right, privilege, power, or immunity commits the offense of official oppression. Finally, and very importantly, the Penal Code states a public servant who, under the color of their office or employment, subjects another to sexual harassment has also committed official oppression. This is important. Sexual harassment is a criminal offense for public servants and is an A misdemeanor. Public servants, by virtue of their position and authority, have access to a great deal of sensitive and personal information, from terrorism threats to details of sexual assault investigations. The Texas Penal Code offense of misuse of official information is designed to ensure confidential information remains confidential. First, the Penal Code establishes a public servant who uses information which he or she has access to by virtue of their office or employment, for instance, information available in a law enforcement-only database, in order to gain a pecuniary interest or speculate, in other words, to gain some sort of financial advantage, commits a felony of the third degree. Next, the Penal Code states a public servant, including a school administrator, who coerces another into suppressing or failing to report information to a law enforcement agency, commits a C misdemeanor. So, for example, a school administrator who coerces a teacher to not report another teacher for an inappropriate relationship because it will damage the school's reputation. A public servant also commits this offense if, with intent to obtain a benefit or with intent to harm or defraud another, he or she discloses or uses information he or she has access to by virtue of employment that has not been made public for a non-government purpose. So, for example, a peace officer who runs the license plate of his ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend with an intent to harm the new boyfriend. This would also be a felony of the third degree. Finally, the Penal Code states a person who discloses information not lawfully permitted to be disclosed to the public also commits a felony of the third degree. So a possible example is a person in government who discloses sensitive information to the media. The Penal Code states, information that has not been made public means any information to which the public generally does not have access to and that is prohibited from disclosure under the Government Code.